panel has put out a chart that suggests that for most of you, the taxpayers are now subsidizing you, that the value of the contract that was let is one now that is underwater. In fact, $78 billion worth of a subsidy. And the question I have, and I think the question a lot of my constituents have, in fact, I've gotten plenty of questions to ask you today, much like many of my colleagues, is if I am subsidizing you, I, the taxpayer, am subsidizing you to the tune of $78 billion because what we've loaned you is now not valued at the same amount. Why is it I have to pay an interest rate for my credit cards at 18 or 20%? Why is it you can get money for 5% from TARP and I'm paying 18% and I'm subsidizing your business? So my question to you, to each of you is, are you willing to reduce the credit card rates that you charge your customers as being a TARP participant?
We're not in the credit card business. So.
Mr. Diamond?
Every business has its own financial dynamics.
I'm just asking the question, yes or no?
The answer would be no.
Okay, Mr. Kelly, you are probably not in the business, correct?
We are not, no.
Mr. Lewis?
No.
Mr. Loeb?
No, we're not in the business.
Mr. Mack?
We're not in the business.
Mr. Pandit?
Case by case.
Mr. Stump?
No.
So what is the interest rate you're charging for those of you in the business on credit cards?
Well, it's a range. It's a range of 9 or 10% to 20-something percent.
To what, 27?
20-something percent.
20-something percent. Do any of you believe that we should have a law in America that has a usury rate? Do you think there's ever a rate that's usurious, that's obscene, that shouldn't be charged? It's 36% usurious. Could you answer that?
I think there should be a usurious rate, yes.
What do you think it should?
And I believe there are by state, but I mean, yeah, you can decide. I think it's a different number in different businesses, but I think there should be a usurious rate, yes.
All right. There's a GAO report that just came out in December of 2008, and it talked about the number of the biggest financial institutions, both in size and in their bailout receipts, and that they maintain revenues in offshore tax haven countries where there are no or nominal taxes and minimal of any reporting. According to the Department of Treasury reports, the U.S. government loses $100 billion a year in tax revenue from these tax dodges from all sources, including these firms. For instance, Citigroup claims 427 different overseas locations or tax jurisdictions, 90 in the Cayman Islands alone. And by the way, you're receiving a 38% subsidy from the taxpayers right now. Morgan Stanley has 273 locations, of which 158, or well more than half, are in the Cayman Islands. Again, Morgan Stanley has about an 18% subsidy from the taxpayers right now. Are you willing to bring those offshore tax havens home to America?
Congresswoman, I would have to give you the exact partnerships or vehicles we may have structured for clients or structured for an offshore business. So I cannot give you the complete answer, but I will give you the answer when I return.
Thank you.
The gentleman